In this video, I'm going to do a step-by-step beginner tutorial on how to use the Weex exchange. If you're looking to learn how to trade futures on Weex, I did make a separate tutorial for that, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that video in the description down below for anyone that might be interested. In this video, I'll show you how to create a new account, how to transfer assets onto the platform, then I'll show you how you can internally transfer those assets between your accounts. Then we'll head into the spot market, I'll get you familiar with the user interface, and I'll demonstrate how to buy and sell assets using market orders and limit orders. All of that and more with some tips and tricks along the way. If you need to create an account on Weex, I left you a verified link in the description of this video and in the pinned comment down below. If you use that link to create an account, you'll be saving 15% on all your trading fees for the lifetime of your account, and you'll be eligible for the current deposit bonus, whatever that might be, by the time you're seeing this video. You'll also be supporting my channel at no extra cost to you. This video is not financial advice and is for educational purposes only. Always do your own research before using an exchange, including Weex. Also left you some timestamps down below, so feel free to skip to a section that might be most relevant to you. Don't forget to leave me a like, hit subscribe for future content, and let's get into the video. If you click on my link in the description of this video or in the pinned comment down below, you'll be redirected to this page here or some variation of it. You can proceed to create an account by simply using an email or a phone number. Just choose an option that makes the most sense to you. Now over here on the left hand side, you'll be able to see if there's a promotion currently running, and at the time of making this video, you can see that you can unlock up to $10,000 plus in rewards. But also keep in mind, in addition to whatever promotion you might be viewing here, you'll also be saving 15% on all your trading fees for the lifetime of your account, regardless of how much you deposit and regardless of how much you trade with. And that's exclusive to anybody that uses my link when creating their account. So when you're ready, put in your email or phone number into this box right here and then click on sign up. And once you've signed up and signed into the exchange, you can find the bonuses if you just come right up here, top of the screen where it says promotions, hover your mouse over top of that. Then over here on the left hand side, you'll see where it says welcome gift. Give that a click. And that'll bring you to this page right here where you can see some different bonuses that you can unlock on the platform. And you can just scroll down and you can see what might be available to you. Yours might look a little bit different than mine does, but you'll see there's some futures master bonuses right here. Basically, the more you deposit, the more you trade with, the more in bonuses you can receive. You can use these bonuses to place additional trades and the profits are yours to keep. So basically, if you're going to be doing any of this stuff on the platform anyways, just make sure to come in here and claim some of these bonuses. At the time of making this video, KYC is not necessary to create an account and use this platform. Now this could change in the future, so I'm going to quickly show you where to go to get verified just in case it's become necessary by the time you're watching this video. So to get that done, we'll come right up here, top right hand side to the profile icon, and in this drop down menu, we'll click here on verification. That'll bring you over to this page here where you can verify your identity. Now this process is pretty straightforward and self-explanatory, but while you're going through this, you'll have to submit a government issued document such as a driver's license or a passport and answer some basic questions about your identification. To get started with that process, you'd click here on verify now, and that'll get the process started of verifying your identity. Once you're done, submit it to Weex. Weex will look it over. Once you're verified, they'll let you know and you're good to go. But as I mentioned, at least at the time of making this video, this process isn't necessary. But if something's changed since I made this video, now's a good time to pause the video, get verified, and I'll see you in the next step of this tutorial. This right here is your assets overview page. To get on this page, you'd simply come up here, top right hand side to your wallet icon, and at the top of this drop down menu, click right here on your balance, even if it currently says 0. That's going to bring you over here to your assets overview page. Here on your assets overview page, you'll be able to see all the different assets that you own and hold on account. You'll also be able to see all your different internal accounts inside the Weex platform. You'll notice right here that you have a spot account, futures account, copy account, funding account, and an earn account. If you're simply looking to buy or sell digital assets on the spot market, you'd need to make sure that your assets are inside your spot account. And I'll be focusing on that in this tutorial. I'll be demonstrating how to buy and sell off of the spot market. If you're looking to trade any futures contracts on the platform, you'd need to make sure that you transfer your tether into your futures account right here. Now, I have an entire tutorial dedicated to futures trading on this platform, So I'm going to leave a link for that video in the description down below for anyone that might be interested in learning on how that works. In this video, I'll be focusing mostly on the spot market. And over here, you'll notice that there's an earn account. If we give this a click, you can transfer certain assets into this account here, and you can earn some passive yields. You'll be able to see your estimated APR for the assets down below, and you'll be able to see the terms or days that you have to hold the assets inside this account to collect the yields. If you'd like to buy some crypto using fiat, you can get that done by simply coming right up here, top left-hand side where it says buy crypto. Hover over top of that and then click here where it says quick buy in the drop-down menu. That'll bring you over to this page here where you can buy some USDT or other crypto assets using Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, as well as MasterCard. Simply come right over here to the quick buy form, give this a click right here, and select the fiat currency you wish to spend in this drop-down menu here, or search for it in the search bar. I'll go ahead and just leave that on USD. Next, come right down here. So in my case where it says Tether, give that a click. And here's where you can select the asset that you wish to purchase. It's likely easiest just to buy some Tether or USDC, because then you can use the stablecoin on the spot market to buy whatever asset that you're looking for. So I'll just go ahead and leave that set to Tether. Next, type right here how much you wish to spend. So for example, I'll do 100. And then Weex will be giving you a quote as to approximately how much of the asset you'll be receiving for your spend up above. So in my case here, I'd be spending 100 USD and I'd be receiving 96.15 Tether approximately. Remember, there's always fees to get this done. Now, using the quick buy option is perfectly fine. It's convenient, but always pay attention to the fees. Sometimes the fees are not the most competitive. Sometimes it's easier just to deposit some Tether from another platform or from a self-custody hot wallet, which I'll be demonstrating next in this tutorial. But once you have your purchase set up the way that you want it, you'd come down here and you'd select the payment method that you wish to use. So in my case here, the only option available to me is Alchemy Pay. Now, depending on the country or region that you're located in, you might actually have more payment methods available to you. Different countries, different regions around the world just simply have different regulations. So in my case here, Alchemy would be the only one available. Now keep in mind, these are third-party service providers. So if you're going to be using any of them, you'll have to create an account on that platform and likely go through KYC with them as well. So certainly keep that in mind. But once you have your payment method set up, you just come down here and click on buy. Confirm your order right here. Make sure to come down here and read the disclaimer. If everything looks good to you, check this box here, then click on place order. And as you can see, I just got redirected to the Alchemy Pay ramp. So from here, you'd choose the payment method you'd wish to use, whether that's going to be a card, Apple Pay, or Google Pay. Then you'd click on proceed to move to the next step. Carefully go through this process step by step to complete your purchase. I'm not going to be buying any crypto using fiat, so this is where I'm going to shut this down. Now I'm back to confirm your order, and I'm just going to go ahead and head back to the assets overview page by coming up here to the wallet icon, and I'll go ahead and click here on my balance. Now we're back to the assets overview page. To deposit some crypto assets onto the platform, you'll find some deposit buttons here on your assets overview page. You'll notice over here underneath overview, there's a deposit button here. And over here on the right hand side, you'll find the deposit button here next to withdraw. And top right hand side of the screen, you'll find the deposit button here as well. Give any one of those a click. Then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be choosing on-chain deposit. So give on-chain deposit a click. This is going to bring you over to a standard crypto deposit form. So I'm going to go ahead and do two quick demonstrations here. In the first demonstration, I'm going to send some Tether from my Phantom wallet, which is a self-custody hot wallet, to the Weex platform. In the next demonstration, I'll send some Tether from another exchange over to Weex. So the first thing we want to do is we want to choose the asset that we wish to deposit onto the Weex platform by clicking right here. Then choose the asset in this drop-down menu here, or you can search for it in the search bar up above. Of course, I'm demonstrating with Tether, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on Tether right here. Next, we'll need to choose a network to complete the deposit over. Now, in my case here, I'm sending some Tether from my Phantom wallet over to Weex. I already know that I have some Tether stored inside my Phantom wallet on the Solana blockchain. So I need to click right here on network and I need to choose the Solana blockchain, which is right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. So whatever wallet that you're using, make sure you choose the correct network over here on Weex, which will be the network that your assets are stored on inside your wallet. You don't want to send from one network and into another, or you risk losing your crypto permanently. You always want to match the network on both sides of this. So now that I've selected Tether and I've selected the correct network, Weex is now generating a deposit address for Tether on the Solana blockchain, and I can see it down below here. There's a QR code there, so if I was doing this from my phone, I could always just scan that QR code, but I can also see the long form version of my address next to that QR code. So I'm simply going to copy that deposit address by clicking on these two little boxes right here. Now I'm going to bring my Phantom wallet into Frame, and I'm using it as a Chrome extension. It's just outside of Frame, top right hand side. I can see the Phantom icon, so I'm just going to go ahead and give that a click. And of course my wallet's going to drop down. Now when we scroll down a little bit like this, I can see that Tether balance inside my Phantom wallet on the Solana blockchain. You can see that little Solana logo, bottom right hand side of the Tether logo there. So that's the Tether balance I'm going to be clicking on. Next, I'm going to click right here on Send. Now I can paste in my Weex deposit address for Tether on the Solana blockchain into this box right here, just like this. Now I can choose how much Tether I wish to send over to Weex from my Phantom wallet. And of course, I can see my available balance right down below here. So if I wanted to do a custom amount, I could do something like this. But in my case here, I just have some shrapnel here. So let's go ahead and just click on max to send all of it. Then I'm going to come down here, click on next. I can review my send. I can see that I've selected the correct network right here, which is Solana. I can see my network fee that I'll be paying to send this over. Looks good. So I'm going to click here on send. And just like that, I sent 144 Tether from my Phantom wallet over to Weex using the Solana blockchain. Remember, always match the network on both sides. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this out. Now, while we're waiting for that to arrive, I'm going to do another demonstration here. And this demonstration, I'm going to send some Tether from another exchange over to Weex. And I just refreshed the page, and if we look down here under status, you can see that my 144 Tether is currently depositing. So once enough confirmations happen on the Solana blockchain, this 144 Tether will be available for me to buy and sell on the spot market, or I could transfer it to my futures account and trade futures contracts. But as I mentioned before, in this tutorial, I'm focusing on the spot market. So while we're waiting for that to confirm, I'm going to do one more demonstration here. And in this demonstration, I'm going to send some Tether from another exchange over to Weex. So once again, we'd come up here to select asset, give this a click. Of course, choose the asset that you wish to deposit. I'll be using Tether, so I'm going to be clicking right here. Next, we'll need to choose a network that we wish to complete this deposit over. So I'll go ahead and click right here. And for this demonstration, I'll go ahead and use the BNB Smart Chain by giving that a click. So now that I've selected Tether, as well as the Binance Smart Chain, Weex is generating a deposit address for Tether on the BNB Smart Chain and is showing it to me down below here. Again, I've got that QR code if I want to scan that, but I also see the long form deposit address next to that QR code. So I'm going to copy this deposit address by clicking on these two little boxes right here. Now I'm going to bring another exchange into frame. This exchange right here is called Blowfin. If anyone's interested in learning about it, I have tutorials for it in the description down below. So now that I'm over here on Blowfin, I'm going to come up here to where it says Assets, and I'm going to be clicking right here on the Withdrawal button. This is bringing me over to Blowfin's standard crypto withdraw form, and here's where I need to paste in the deposit details from Weex. So of course, the asset I want to transfer is Tether, so I need to click right here where it says Select Crypto, and I need to select Tether. I can see it right here. Next, I need to come down here where it says Network, and I need to choose the correct network. Now remember, over on Weex, I selected the BNB Smart Chain. So I need to click here on Network, and I need to select the BNB Smart Chain right here by giving that a click. Now I've matched the network on both sides of this. Remember, always make sure those networks match on both sides. If the network isn't available where you're sending the crypto from and over to Weex, just simply choose a different network. Make sure you select a network that both sides support and then match the network on both sides. So now that I've chosen the correct asset, which was Tether, and matched the network, which is the Binance Smart Chain, I can now paste in my Weex deposit address for Tether on the BNB Smart Chain into this box right here, just like this. Now I can choose how much Tether I wish to send from Blowfin over to Weex, and of course I can see my available balance right here. Again, if I wanted to do a custom amount, I would type it in, but I'll just send all of it because it's just 101 Tether, so I'll click here on Max. Now I'm going to come down here and click on Withdraw. Now I can confirm the details are correct. I can confirm that I have the right deposit address up above here. I can double check and make sure that I've selected the correct network and that it matches on both sides. This is looking good, so I'm going to come down here and click on Confirm. Now I'm going to quickly do my security verification. And just like that, that Tether is now on its way from Blowfin over to the Weex platform. So I'm just going to go ahead and click here on Confirm, and we'll bring Weex back into frame. Now, obviously, this process can look a little bit different depending on the self-custody wallet that you're using or the exchange that you're sending from. But the main takeaways is make sure you match the asset and match the network. So if you're sending from a self-custody hot wallet, make sure you're choosing the network over here on Weex that your assets are stored on inside the wallet you're sending from. And if you're sending from another platform, just make sure you choose a network over here on Weex that's also compatible with the exchange that you're sending from, and match the networks on both sides. Never send from one network and into another, or you will lose your crypto permanently. And a quick tip, you can always send a small amount first. Once the smaller amount arrives as you intended, then you can have the confidence to send in larger amounts. So once your assets arrive on the platform, you can find them by coming up here to your wallet icon, click on your balance up at the top. This brings you back to your assets overview page. And if I come right down here and click on funding account, you can see that Tether has now arrived on Weex, both from my Phantom wallet and from Blowfin, and is now inside my funding account. And you can see it right here. All right, now that I have some Tether on the platform inside my funding account, I'm ready to transfer that Tether into my spot account so that I can buy some assets off the spot market. So in order to get this done, we can do that right here on the assets overview page. Of course, we can get here by coming up to the wallet icon, click on your balance up at the top, or just simply click down here on assets. Once you're on the assets overview page, you'll notice that there's a transfer button right over here next to withdraw. So let's go ahead and give that a click. That'll bring you to this page here where you can internally transfer your assets between your accounts. There's no fees to get this done. It's simply an internal transfer. So the first thing we want to do is choose the token we wish to transfer by clicking right here. And then you can select that token from down below here or search for it in the search bar. Of course, I'm using Tether, so I'll be leaving this as it is. Next, we need to choose the account that we're transferring from by clicking right here. My Tether is inside my funding account, so I'm going to come down here and click on funding account. After that, we need to select the account that we're transferring to by clicking right here. I want to buy and sell off the spot market, so I'm going to be selecting spot account down below here, just like this. Now I can see my available balance of the asset that I'm transferring right here. So if I want to transfer a custom amount, I could type it in like this. Or if I want to transfer all of it, I'd click here on all, then click on OK, and transfer successful. So what we'll do from here is we'll come up to where it says overview, top left-hand side. You'll also notice there's a transfer button right here as well, but let's go ahead and click here on overview. Now that we're back on the overview page, you can see I'm already set to spot, but if I wasn't, I'd click here on spot account. And if we look down below here, you can see my Tether has now been transferred into my spot account from my funding account. So that's how you can internally transfer your assets between your accounts. All right, to head into the spot market and see all the different pairings and asset classes that are available to buy and sell on this platform, you can get that done by coming right up here where it says spot. You'll get this drop down menu right here, and you can scroll with the wheel of your mouse like this if you wish to see all the different pairings down below. But you'll notice that you have asset classes up at the top here. So if I was to click on stocks like this, now I can see all the different tokenized stocks on the platform right here. Or if I wanted commodities, I could give this a click and I'd be able to see the different commodities here as well. So what you would do is you'd just click on whatever it is you wish to buy or sell. So I'll just click here on stocks as an example, and let's go ahead and just click on NVIDIA. Once you select one, that's going to bring you into the spot market user interface where you can buy and sell whatever asset that you're interested in. Now you can always change your pairing and asset class from here as well. So if you come up here, top left-hand side, you'll be able to see your pairing here. If you hover over top of that, you'll get this drop-down menu here again. And of course, you could always just search for a different asset up above here. Right here, you can see all the different asset classes. So there's metals even. If we click on that, you can see all the different heavy metals that are available here. And if you just click on this tiny little triangle here, you'll find that there's even more options here as well. So as you can see, there's plenty of different things that you can trade here on the Weex spot market. Now you'll notice that these pairings in particular here are quoted in Tether. So this means that if I want to buy an asset using these pairings, I need Tether inside my spot account. And that's why I was transferring Tether into my spot account earlier in this tutorial. If I sold an asset using these pairings, I'd be receiving Tether for the sale. So the USDT next to these pairings means that these are simply quoted in Tether. To change the pairing, simply click on the pairing that you wish to trade, or you can search for it in the search bar up above. If you'd like to make a favorites list of any of these pairings, you can also get that done by highlighting the star next to the pairing you wish to add. So for example, let's do Bitcoin here. I'll click on the star. Let's go ahead and do Ethereum. Let's go ahead and head into metals here. Let's do gold. We'll add silver here by highlighting the star. Let's head into commodities here. Let's go ahead and do crude as well, just like this. Now you'll notice if I click right here on favorites, you can see I just added myself a little basket of favorites here of the pairings that I want to trade. If you want to get rid of any of these, you just unhighlight the star. So let's go ahead and get rid of crude oil. And as you can see, I just got rid of crude off of the favorites list here. Again, if I want to select one of these like Bitcoin, I'll just go ahead and click on that. And as you can see, when we look at the top left-hand side of the screen here, that I changed the pairing to Bitcoin versus Tether. So now I'm ready to buy or sell Bitcoin. If I come back up to pairings, choose my favorites, or if I want to trade something else, I'd click here on spot. Choose the asset class up at the top here. Let's go ahead and do a stock. I can see SpaceX here if I click on that. And as you can see, I just changed this to SpaceX tokenized stock. So now I could buy or sell SpaceX. So that's how you can find all the different pairings, the different asset classes, and of course, choose an asset that you wish to buy or sell. Alright, if you've seen any of my tutorials in the past, you're likely already familiar with the user interface, but if this is your first time seeing this, all good. This is a beginner tutorial, so I'm going to take a minute here and break this down for you. And we'll start right here with the price action chart. Now this price action chart is powered by TradingView, so that means you're going to have access to some basic drawing tools as well as some basic indicators from TradingView. To make sure your chart is set to TradingView, you can do that top right hand side here. You can see mine already is, but if yours isn't, just make sure you click here on TradingView. Now right here, this is obviously showing us the asset's performance over a selected time frame. You'll find your different time frames top left hand side of the screen here. If you'd like to change the appearance of how that looks, just come right here, click on this icon here where it says bars, and I'm going to go ahead and switch this to a traditional candlestick chart, just like this. Now you can see I've changed from bars to candlesticks. Now each candlestick down below represents 4 hours of time. If you want to find additional time frames, just click right here on this tiny little triangle, and you'll find additional time frames in this drop down right here. Next to the chart here on the left hand side is where you'll find all your different drawing tools, and next to each drawing tool is a tiny triangle. If you click on that, it'll expand into a drop down menu, and here's where you'll find additional drawing tools. Simply left click on the drawing tool that you wish to use, and then left click on the chart to apply it. So for example, if I want a horizontal, I'd left click. And if I wanted to come over here to the chart and mark some support down here, I'd give a left click like this. And as you can see, I just added a horizontal line to the chart. If I want to get rid of that, I'll left click on it. I'll click this trash icon and off it goes. If you'd like to add a basic indicator to the chart, come right up here to this little icon here and give that a click. You'll get this window right here. You can scroll with the wheel of your mouse through all the different indicators from TradingView here, and you can left click on something that you wish to add to the chart layout. If there's something specific you're looking for, you can always search for it in the search bar. So if I wanted relative strength index, I would do RSI. I can see it right here. I'll give that a click, close this out. And as you can see, I just added a basic relative strength index to the bottom of the chart. If I want to get rid of that, I'll just come over to this little pane right here, this little trash icon, and click on delete pane. And as you can see, I just got rid of the RSI. You'll also notice right here, there's a little line between your volume and the price action there. You can always adjust this as well. So I like to squish mine down slightly, just like this, giving me a better view of the price action chart, just like that. But certainly adjust that to your preference. And next to the price action chart here on the right-hand side is where you'll find the order book. And the order book is showing you where market participants have placed orders to buy or sell an asset. And they're doing this by using limit orders, which I'll be demonstrating in this tutorial. On the top side of the order book here in red, these are what's known as the asks. These are the price points that market participants have placed a limit order to sell the asset. Down here in green, these are called the bids. These are the price points that market participants have placed a limit order to buy an asset. In the middle of the order book right here is where you'll find the mid price, and that's the price point that the asset is currently trading at. So all these asks up above in red are greater than the mid price, and all these bids down below in green are less than the mid price. When a trader comes along and executes a market order, they're matched up with the best available price off the order book, whether they're buying or selling, and the trade is executed immediately. And I'll be demonstrating market orders in this tutorial as well. If you click on this market trades tab right here next to order book, this is showing you all the trades that are taking place in real time here. You'll see in the price column, the price point that the successful trade was executed at. Over here in the amount column, you'll see the size of the trade that went through. And in the time column, you'll see the time that that successful trade happened at. When the market gets really volatile, this panel can light up. You'll see all the buys coming in green and all the sells coming in red. When you're ready to get back to the order book, you just click here on order book. And next to the order book is where you'll find your order panel, where you can be a buyer or a seller. You just click on the option you wish to be. And you'll see right here that you have the option to do a limit order and a market order. And I'll demonstrate both of those. All right, first I'll demonstrate a market order because these order types are nice and simple. They're going to execute immediately at the best available price off the order book, whether you're buying or selling an asset. So the first thing we want to do is make sure we choose the asset that we wish to either buy or sell by coming up here, top left-hand side to our pairings. Of course, make sure we're set to spot, and then we would select the asset from this menu right here, or you'd search it in the asset class here, or you can always just click on your favorites if it's stored in here and select it from there. Now, I'm perfectly fine demonstrating with Bitcoin, so I'm going to be selecting it right here like this, and I can see the pairing is BTC versus USDT. Of course, choose whatever asset that you want to buy or sell. Next, we're going to come over here to the order panel, and I'll demonstrate as a buyer first, so I'm going to be leaving this set to buy. Next, we'll click right here on market. Now we've configured the order panel to a market order. Now, right here up at the top, you'll be able to see your available balance, so you'll know exactly what you're working with. So what I could do from here is I could come down to the total box here, and I can choose how much of that tether I wish to spend on this asset. So I could do 100 like this, but you can always use the slider bar down below as well. So if I was to slide this up like this to 77%, that would be spending 77% of my available balance on this asset. If I slid that up to 100%, that would be spending 100% of my available balance on this asset. So for this demonstration, I'll go ahead and just spend 125 tether like this. Now that I have this buy order set up the way that I want it, I'm going to simply click right here on buy BTC. And my order's been placed. So that executed immediately at the best available price off the order book. So now that I've bought an asset off the spot market, I can find it by coming up here to my wallet. And we'll come right down here and click on spot account. This brings us to the asset overview page. You can see I'm now set to spot account right here. And if we look down below, you can see that Bitcoin that I just bought off the spot market right here. Now, if I want to sell that Bitcoin using a market order, what I would do is I'd either come over here on the right-hand side where it says trade now, and I could select the BTC USDT pairing right here, or I could sell it into USDC if I wanted to, which is simply another stable coin, and I can see another trade option here to swap it from Bitcoin into Ethereum. I'm demonstrating with Tether, so I'm just going to click here on BTC USDT. This brings us back into the spot market, and as you can see, the pairing is set to Bitcoin versus Tether. Now, if it wasn't, you can always come up here to your pairings as well, and of course, select the asset from the pairings that you wish to sell. From here, I'd come back over here to the order panel, click here on sell, click here on market, and now I can see my available balance right here, which is in my spot account, and now I can choose how much of that I wish to sell. So I could come down here to the total box. I can see that I have 0.002 BTC available on account. So if I wanted to, I could do something like this, which is 50% of what I hold on account. But of course, we can always use the slider bar down below as well. But for this demonstration, I'll go ahead and sell half of that like this. Now that I have my sell order set up the way that I want it, I'm going to click right here on sell. And just like that, I instantly sold half of that Bitcoin on the spot market by using a market order. All right, now I'll demonstrate a limit order. These order types give you the ability to choose a price point that you wish to place an order to buy an asset, or a price point that you wish to place an order to sell an asset. But you will need the price of the asset to reach your order price before your order is going to fill and execute. So the first thing we want to do is head up here, top left-hand side to our pairings, and of course, choose the asset that you wish to place a limit order for. I'm fine demonstrating with Bitcoin, so I'll leave this as it is. Next, we're going to head over here to the order panel, and we're going to choose if we're sending a buy order or a sell order. I'll go ahead and demonstrate with a buy order first, so I'm going to click right here on buy. Next, we'll make sure we're set to limit. Mine already is, but if yours isn't, click right here on limit. Now we've configured the order panel to a limit order. Now I need to choose a price point that I wish to place a buy order at. So let's head on over here to the chart, and for the purpose of demonstration, let's imagine that I'm bullish on Bitcoin, but maybe I think Bitcoin's going to pull back from here before finding some support, catching a bounce, and moving to a higher price point. Maybe I'm looking at this pivot on the market right back here. And perhaps I want to try to place a buy order somewhere in that area. So what I'm going to do is head over here to the drawing tools, and I'm going to grab a horizontal line. If you don't see yours, it's next to trend line. Click on this little triangle, you'll get a drop down, you'll find a horizontal line right here. Click on that, and we'll head back over here to the chart. And I'm going to go ahead and mark these candle bodies something like this. Now I can see a price point on the y-axis of the chart that's correlated to that horizontal, coming in at 59,238. And maybe I want to try to place an order to buy some Bitcoin at that price point, just in case Bitcoin does pull back and hits that price level before catching a bounce to the upside. So what I'm going to do is come back over here to the order panel, and I'm going to type that price point into price, which was 59,238. Next, I need to choose the size of this order. So I can always type in amount of the asset that I wish to buy in this box right here, whatever the asset might be. And of course, we can always use the slider bar down below here. So if I was to slide this up to say 53%, that's going to put 53% of my available balance into this buy order. If I slid this all the way up to 100%, that's going to be putting 100% of my available balance into this buy order. For this demonstration, I'll go ahead and just set this to 50%, 51%. So now that I have this buy order set the way that I want it, I'm going to click right here on buy. And just like that, I tossed that limit order onto the order book. So if we head on over here down to where it says open orders, you can see my open limit order right here resting on the order book at 59,238. If you don't see yours, just make sure you click on open orders. And if you still don't see yours, just refresh your browser. So in my case here, if Bitcoin pulls back, coming all the way down and hitting 59,238, this order is going to fill, and I'll be buying a little bit of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin doesn't come down there and just takes off from here, I'll be missing out on this because the price of Bitcoin failed to come all the way down, filling my limit order. Or maybe Bitcoin does come down, fills my limit order to buy some Bitcoin, and then just dumps to the downside. Obviously, I'd get wrecked because I would have bought my Bitcoin up here at 59,238 just in time for it to fall to the downside. So a couple of considerations when placing a limit order. Now, this order is going to stay on the order book until I either cancel it manually or it fills. So at any point, if you want to cancel a limit order, you'd come down here to where it says open orders. Make sure you click on that. And way over here on the right-hand side underneath action, you'll see cancel. Give that a click. And as you can see, I just took that order off of the order book. And of course, you can use a limit order to sell an asset as well. So to do that, of course, choose the asset you wish to set up your sell order for. We'd come back up here to the order book. We'd click here on sell, click here on limit, and we would choose a price point to place our sell order. So let's come back on over here to the chart, and just for fun, let's imagine that I'm bearish on Bitcoin, but maybe I think it's going to pop up a little bit higher before finding some resistance and then rolling over and moving to a lower price point. And maybe I want to place a sell order to sell. Perhaps when I look left on the chart, I want to target this pivot on this range right back here. We can see Bitcoin's been trading sideways here on a 4-hour time frame, and that looks like it's been going on for a few days. So maybe I think Bitcoin's going to come up somewhere near the top side of the range, which would be around this pivot right here, before selling off. So what I'll do is I'll come over here to the drawing tools. I'm going to go ahead and click on this little triangle here, grab a horizontal line, and I'll mark these two candle bodies right here like this. Now, when I look on the y-axis of the chart, I can see a price point correlating to that horizontal, which is marking the top side of the range at 67,349. And maybe I want to place an order to sell my Bitcoin at that price point. So I'm going to come back over here to the order panel, and I'm going to type that into price, which was 67,349. Now I can choose how much of the asset I wish to sell at that level. Of course, I can see my available balance right here. But I can always just use this slider bar down below. For this demonstration, I'll slide this up to 100%. Now, before I place the sell order, you'll see right here, this says time in force is set to good till canceled. Like I mentioned before, this means that the limit order is going to stay on the order book until it either fills or I cancel it. Good till canceled. Now that I have my sell order set the bid I want it, I'm going to click here on sell BTC. And my order has been placed on the order book. I'm going to quickly refresh the page here. And now when we look down here under open orders, we can see that sell order sitting on the order book at 67,349. So in my case here, if Bitcoin was to pop up, coming all the way up here, hitting 67,349, this order is going to fill and I'll be selling my Bitcoin. If Bitcoin just dumps from here to the downside, I'll be getting wrecked because the price of Bitcoin failed to come up, fill my limit order, and sell the asset. Or maybe Bitcoin does come up there, hits my order price, I sell my Bitcoin, but then it just rips to the upside like this. Of course, I'd be missing out on all those gains because my limit order to sell my Bitcoin failed here at the top of this sideways range. So a few considerations when choosing if a limit order is appropriate for you or not. Again, if I want to cancel this, I'd come down here, click on open orders, and over here on the right-hand side under action, I'd click here on cancel. And just like that, I took that limit order to sell off of the order book. If you still see yours hanging around, again, just refresh your browser. And as you can see, it's gone. So that's how you can use a limit order. And now that you're done with this tutorial, feel free to check out my other Weex tutorials, which I put together in a playlist on my YouTube channel. Or feel free to check out one of these tutorials that are popping up now. Don't forget to leave me a like, hit subscribe for future content, and have yourself a powerful day.